Welcome everyone! Today we'll have a special auction house guide for Lost Ark. And behind me, you can see the highest selling item I got was 30,000 gold, well 29999. And over here I've sold tons of items, for 5,000 gold and also different items. So in this video, I really want to share all the knowledge with you guys about how to make gold on auction house, whether you're tier 1, tier 2 or tier 3. This will focus on tier 2 and also tier 3 players. Especially at tier 3, there is tons of gold. So I have made a lot of notes regarding two things we'll be selling. One will be accessories that you can loot from the chaos dungeon, and also there's a lot of other ways to get accessories. There's another item we can sell which will be ability stone, and this one is a little complicated because you want to know which ability works. So not only do I have some of the abilities you can start to look for, and also we have a list of all the popular abilities from the Korean server. So I have prepared a lot of this. So I want to give you guys the best knowledge and also the best resource to get the most out of your items and to list the price correctly to make a ton of gold on auction house. Now, similar to all of the videos, this Google Doc notes will be available for you to download, and also the video will be linked over here as well. So starting with auction house guide. Now, one thing with auction house compared to the marketplace is there is only kind of 4 things that you'll be selling, from gears, ability stone, accessories and also gems. For the sake of this video, we'll be focusing on 2 of the kind of more profitable and more random jobs in the game, which will be accessories and also will be the ability stones. So those things have a chance of huge sales because you can roll for the stats. And what we're selling is, we're selling the item that finds class and also skill engravings. Now, as people approach to tier 3 and as people to get to the later stage of the game, what's going to happen is players will be looking for engravings. They'll be looking for 3 level 3 engravings. They'll be trying to get 2 level 3, 3 level 3, and finally 4 level 3 engravings. And that will be a big goal for the end game. And this is one of the reasons accessories and also ability stones sells for a lot of gold. So coming over to accessories. So once you're tier 3, your tier 2 accessories will only have 50% of its bonus stats. And this is not great, especially players looking for class engraving replacement. So my class engraving for Berserker is Mayhem. And similarly, a lot of players will be looking for replacement for those. Now, in case you guys are wondering how I got those engravings to 15 and 15 for 2 level 3. So we do have a video on this one actually. It's about, collecting those class engravings for free, the 20 purple books for free, once you get to tier 3. And I did buy the second one to purple level myself, the Master Tenacity. So definitely check out that video as well. I'll have that attached for you guys to show you how to get 20 of those for free. You save a ton of gold. Do not buy your class engravings which are purple, guys. So it is quite important that you understand the accessories you loot will focus on your own class engravings. If I'm a Berserker, I can only loot 2 types of class engravings. One is Berserker's Mayhem, one is Berserker's, Technique. So those are the 2 class engravings that are available. My gears that I dropped usually doesn't come with other class engravings. So the first thing you want to notice with accessories, you want to know the most popular combination for your class, whether you're Berserker, Bard, Sorcerers, you want to know what combines into. And in case you guys are not sure, we do have the popular, numbers over here on the Korean server. You can have a look at different classes. Some of the classes we don't have yet, like Destroyer, but some of the classes we already have. For example, back then with Berserker, it was Mayhem plus Grudge plus Master's Tenacity. They call it Champion's Tenacity. People also went for Blame Weapon. There's also Adrenaline, Raid Captain, Curse Doll. There's a few that Berserkers can use. So what I do recommend is, if you're not sure, come over to this 6 here. This will also be available for you. I didn't write this one, so this is actually translated from the Korean server, and this is why some of the names are a little different. This one's supposed to be Master's Tenacity. This calls Champion's Tenacity. I think you guys will understand once you see the names. So here I have listed the things for my class. You do want to understand is, not only you want to sell your accessories, but you want to build your character, right? So for me, I went for Mayhem plus Master's Tenacity and plus Raid Captain. Because I realized Grudge is too expensive, and also Grudge would let me take additional damage. I'm dying quite often, so I didn't go for Grudge. Maybe I'll go for Grudge once I get over 1370. I'm still working there slowly, but I didn't go for the most expensive one with Grudge, so I went for the other few. Now the next part is quite important. It's how to filter items on the auction house, whether you're price checking to know how much you want to list the item, or you just want to have a general idea of what's most popular for your class. So we're going to come into the game and let's start the marketplace and go into auction house. So first you're going to click accessories. You can do this in any particular order. So you can go for all accessories and then you're going to select tier 3 or tier 2 depending on your tier. So if you're a tier 2 player, select tier 2 because you won't be getting tier 3 jobs. And then you go to the filter section. This is really wonderful. So you go engraving effects and engraving effects. We're looking for 2 engraving effects. And for me, remember, I said it's mayhem and people will go for, sometimes people go for raid captain with mayhem. So you select the 2 and voila, this pops up and you can have a look at the effects. Usually the blue ones that drops at tier 3 will give you 3 not plus. So 1 get 2, 1 get 1. Sometimes they get 1, 1. Now the purple ones, they can drop to +2, +2. So coming over to the one I sold the most, this is a really perfect example of a simple item that I got from a Chaos Dungeon, actually sold for 30,000 gold. How does that work is I got Mayhem and also Master's Tenacity. This is not even Grudge and Mayhem. So Master's Tenacity is the second best for my class. So Mayhem is a class engraving. So once you find a purple that is +2, +2, which start to drop with your gear level 1325 for tier 3. Now for tier 2, this will be a little different. So I have sold some of the tier 2 items as well, but it is a little cheaper back then. So I'll talk about the tier 2 in more details, but similar method works for tier 2. The price won't be this high. Now if you look at the sales history over here, one of the ways I identify and also list items is not only I do check for them, on the price matching of other items that is available, which are similar items, but also I have a look at the rarity of those. So if you get a maximum high roll on accessories, they do sell for a lot. What I mean by a maximum high roll is, I mean by the class engravings. Basically, you get 2 for the class engraving and also one of the top 2, whether it's Grudge, Master Tenacity, or maybe even Cursed Door for my class. One of the top 2, top 3, if you get 2 and also 2, that's pretty big. Even if you get 2 and also 1, +2 for Mayhem and also +1 for Grudge, or +1 for Master Tenacity, you will sell for a few thousand. But if you get 2 + 2, like what I did, you can easily try to sell for 10, 20 or 30,000 depending on the market price in your server. I know guys, my server is inflated, right? So here this is another example. This is Mayhem plus Raid Captain. This is a 1-1 and they sold because class engraving plus another top ones. Even for Raid Captain it was a pretty top one, right? So for 5,000 gold on this particular item, and that's only a +1/+1. So coming back to the search function, what you want to do is you want to check your class engraving. This is for accessories, of course. So we want to check the class engraving for your class and plus one popular one. So what I'm doing is I'm checking with Mayhem plus Grudge, I'm checking with Mayhem plus Master Tenacity, I'm checking with Mayhem plus Cursed Door, Mayhem plus Raid Captain, and Mayhem plus Kingblum Weapon. I'll be checking for all of those. So let's say if I get an item that has Mayhem plus one of those, this will sell for a lot. And currently I'm trying to list something that I'm testing out. I'm trying to list this one for 30,000 gold. It's a little greedy. This one sells for about 8,000 gold. Mayhem plus Master Brawler also is not bad. Notice it's a 2-2 again. So those are kind of like high end of the stats and those are quite popular. So what you do is, let's say, I'll give you guys an example. Let's say if I have a ring over here. It's Crushing Fist and also Spirit Absorption. So you can see the render engraving on there. So what you want to do is you want to come over here and of course those are not class engravings, right? So they probably won't sell for a lot. So let's go for Crushing Fist. You find Crushing Fist and also let's go Spirit Absorption. Spirit Absorption gives movement speed, attack speed. I think it's quite popular. So you go for the lowest price buyout and you have a look at that. Oh, it just doesn't sell much at all. So we're having a purple one. It's a purple +2/+1. So let's have a look at the purple. This is a purple +2/+1. This is a purple +2/+2. So I think we can sell R1s. If you look at the purple pricing, I can sell R1 maybe around 200 gold. So it actually tells me market value is 200 gold. So this is actually not bad, right? So basically what we can do is we can make sure we check the items we have and then we can start listing them. So this one can probably sell for 200. and I'll just list it over here as an example. And similar things, I have been price checking for other things. I noticed this is one of the ability stones. I did the same, and this one sold for 200 gold. Sometimes you don't make a lot, but sometimes you make a lot with the correct things you check. So for example, we jump in a little bit. The ability stone I checked, the same method, sold for 2,500. This one, it's a Spirit Absorption Rig Captain, sold for 2,000. So those are one of the first ways you can check your accessories, and it's very important to check like this. Once you get a hang of it, you will start to list correct pricing and make a ton of gold. Sometimes you might be under listing, we'll talk about this as well, so you might be losing some gold, but that's okay as well. Now the bigger question with accessories is, where do you get them? Well, we do get the tradable ones on the first 2 delegatory for the Chaos Dungeon, Guardian Raid, and also on the weekly entries of the Abyss Dungeon. So those are tradable. Now after that, there's also ways to get them. The first way is actually to exchange them from the Chaos Exchange NPC. So if I come over here, because I'm in North Van over here, let's teleport to North Van. I'll show you guys the 2 other locations you can purchase for basically the accessories. So this is actually more effective at tier 3. At tier 2, you can still get some decent rolls. I do believe using the same method at tier 2, you can sell for 1,000 to 2,000, even 5,000 gold. But at tier 3, this sells for so much higher. So if we come over to North Van, there are 2 NPCs that you can purchase those accessories. And my guildmates and I have been kind of went for accessories gambling. So if you come to the Chaos Exchange NPC, the tier 2, they have those, so it is those orbs. You want to get the highest grade, which those probably are the grades we can get. And as for tier 3, those are the grades we can get. We can't get the golden ones yet because you have to be super high level. You can, of course, get the purple ones. Now the cost will go up. So the start costs 60 orbs per exchange, then it costs about 80, then 100 orbs. And I have purchased all the items up to 100. I can purchase one for you guys just to show you. So you'll be getting random stats. There's a chance of you can sell those for much higher. So I have about 700 stocked up. I'll purchase one and show you guys. So after purchasing one, you'll be getting random stats. Let's come over here. It's like gambling. So this is a Precision Dagger Explosive Expert, but it is a strength one. I don't think this is good for our class, but let's give it a try. So basically, once you have those, you come over here and check for the stats. And this might take a little time, but once you get used to it, it's much quicker. So once we enter the values for those 2, you don't have to enter minimum values yet. So you can click search, and I actually have to click the accessories over here. So all the accessories, I'm gonna go search. We're gonna search for tier 3 because make sure you get the right tier. So let's have a look. It doesn't sell much, I can tell. So yeah, it sells very much. So this one is not popular. So I gambled and didn't get it. The second way of you getting more accessories, whether it's tier 2 or tier 3, is with this Abyss vendor over here. Those are basically exchanging the items you got from the Abyss dungeon, and those are the weekly dungeon, right? So what those can do is you can craft your legendary or your golden equipments with those, and people do that at tier 2, but at tier 3, what I was told is you don't craft the purple weapons. So instead of going for the crafting NPCs down here, people actually spend those to exchange for accessories, and those are actually more worth it because you can gamble into something amazing and sell them or use them, because you'll be progressing out of those purple items very soon, so people actually don't craft for the purple set. But that of course is optional for us, whether you want to craft or if you want to buy accessories over here. Now coming over to the second category of items, which will be ability stones. This one can be a little more complicated because for gears, you can just look into your own gear stats and the best ones for your gear. So for me, I kind of just know the best ones. I'm looking for those. If I don't get Mayhem on some of those, or if I don't get like Garage plus Master Tenacity, it won't be selling massively. But if I do, it's a jackpot, right? But for ability stones, it's a little different because you can get stats and also skills for all different classes, and there's 15 of them. So the bigger question is, what are you looking for? Well, the simple answer is, well, if you're going for Garage plus something else, it's usually really popular, because if we look at the list over here, like almost 90% of the class wants Garage. 90% of class in Korean wants Garage. And if you look at the Men 2, Men 3, there's some King Blunt Weapons, there's Cursed Doors, there's Adrenaline, there's Master of Strikes, Rig Captain. A lot of class want those stats, so you want to know what is popular for those class. Now what I did was I made a little work in progress. So those are the things that plus something else that actually sells, like Awakening plus Expert, Grudge plus anything down there, Crystal plus Spirit Absorption, Master Tenacity plus Crystal. So those are the things that I kind of combine that sells. So I started to list them. Now this is not like not fully completed because basically I'm looking at values over here. I'm looking at what's sold over here. So Curse Dog can be plus something else. So those are most of the damage skill cells that you can look for. And this is what I did. So here it's a Keen Blunt Weapon plus Adrenaline. And basically I had Keen Blunt Weapon somewhere. Keen Blunt Weapon plus Adrenaline. Adrenaline is basically all of those are the increase of damage skills, and people want those. So Keen Blunt Weapon plus Adrenaline, and this one sold for 2,500 gold. So basically that is how I list them, and also I use the same method of checking. Let's say if I had the ability stone, what I will do is I'll come to ability stone, I'll click all of them, I go over here, and if the item was basically, we use the same one as well. So we can go Keen Blunt Weapon, where did I go? Keen Blunt Weapon and also Adrenaline. Now we search for that, we search for the cheapest. Notice the one I sold was 2,500, the one I sold was 2,499. And we're perfectly spot on, right? The next cheapest was 2,500, so I sold it for perfect pricing. So this is how you check your ability stones. Now, because you can get almost any ability, so those are currently the expensive ability combinations I've found. And if you want more abilities, you can check those over here. This is so important because you can still make a fortune with ability stones. And if you look at my sales, 2000, and this one, this is the skill gem. We'll talk about that in the future. The price really crashed. So over here, you can see me selling gems, and before that, I was selling those. And notice some were selling for 1,000, some of those were selling for much lower. And when I was first playing, and I didn't know, I actually sold Grudge plus Disrespect for like 300 gold, which is a terrible idea, because the tier 3 is a Grudge. I could have sold it for maybe 2,000 gold. So if the whole idea of checking for accessories and checking for your ability stone is too tedious and too annoying for you, what I want to do is I want to give you guys an easy way out, something that's simple that you can just get along with it. So this is to do a quick sell. This is not to maximize your profit, but rather to get most of the gold out of it just without spending any time on it. So this is what I used to do. For tier 2 items, I just list them for 2,000 gold, and if no one buys it, I list it for 1,500 gold, I list it for 1,000, this is for 500 and 200. If no one buys it, I trash it. And for tier 3 item, I just list it for 5,000 gold, then 2,000, then 1,000. So what I mean by that is, let's say if I get a purple item which I think can sell, and I'm too tired to check. It's Red Captain plus Mass of Ambush, it's only +1. So what I'm going to do is, I know it's probably not going to sell much, I just put 800, without even checking, I just put this, and I list it. Only downside is you'll lose your registered space. Notice I did a lot of those, so I just check it in. Downside is you might underprice it, you might lose a lot of space. You can list 10 more items on your alt characters, so don't worry about the space. As for underselling it, because it's only a +1, I can't be bothered checking. So this is a quicker way, basically just list them for a high buyout price. If no one buys it, lower the buyout price again and lower the buyout price again. But of course, if you get stats like those, you kind of want to check because you can be in for like a few thousand gold or even 30,000 gold like me. The one I got 30,000 gold was Master Tenacity plus the class Engraving. And that of course is accessories. This particular table is mainly focused on your ability stones and they don't have class abilities. Now finally, as where to get more ability stones, I do believe it is quite easy to get those on tier 2. It is also randomly dropped from Chaos Dungeons, Guardian Raid, and also the weekly Abyss Dungeons. Now there is also places that you can purchase 3 of those from the pirate ships for pirate coins. We do have a video guide over here, and this basically is the pirate ship farming guide, but in there's 2 exchanges. You can buy those little randomized tier 3 ones, and I did buy them. Let me show you guys, and by buying them I actually sold them for 2,000 to 4,000 gold. I'll show you guys a quick replay of me opening those little random gambling little purple little ability stones. So once you have seen a previous video, you can see that the pirate coins can exchange for 3 of those, and those are per weekly, you can buy those. They do drop from the KS dungeon. Notice that once you open them, they will become tradable. When you buy them, they're not tradable, but once you open them, they become tradable. And then you can start to check the stats. What I'm really looking for is something like Keen Blunt Weapon, and something like, Cursed Door, something like Awakening Him. That's good. This is not bad. And notice I move it down if it's good. I'm looking for Grudge. Expert is okay. Spirit Focus and also Grudge. That's not bad, right? So things like those you're looking for. And those are some of the ways you can, get more ability stones. And then followed by my similar method, I'll just show you guys what I do. Basically, I start to check on the market. I start to list them. I start to check on the market. I was like, okay, how much do they are? I check the stats and I check the minimum price. This one only 400, but be aware, sometimes the 400 you're comparing. So I'm currently comparing this one. The 400, the one that's over here that goes for 1,370 item level, you don't compare with that. You don't price match that, because this is for higher tier, for tier 3. So those are not the ones we compare. So yeah, basically I just did my check-ins, and just by doing this, I think on the first week I got about 1,000 gold. The second week I got 1,000 to 2,000 gold. Now, hopefully you guys didn't find this guide video too complicated. So just a quick recap. For accessories, you're looking for your class ability, the most popular one, plus one of the top ones. If you know those like me, it's pretty nice to just look at them, because that's pretty straightforward. If you're not sure, come over to this Excel for your class ability, the popular ones. Those are the career meta, so you don't have to follow them. And if you get like a class 1 plus one of those, or if you get 2 of those good ones, you can sell for quite a fortune. Now for the ability stones, it is more complicated, because you can get any class. And this is why I started to list the popular ones that gives you damage. And those do sell for quite a lot, a few thousand gold each on my server. And you can of course check over here for the few main ones to list those yourself. And as I find more of them, I'll update this notes for us to get more of those to understand which one sells the most. And finally, if you want more ability stones and also more accessories, make sure you look at the ways how to get them. And best of luck in selling those items on the marketplace and auction house, of course. And remember guys, before you finish, make sure you set buyout price, and you also set the bid price. If you set 1 gold for bid and 1,000 gold for buyout, people just bid it. And that's not good, right? And they will just wait for 1 day to get your item for 1 gold, because people do that. And also, if you are buying those items, I just want a quick note. If you buy any of those items, notice that you have to pay with Phaons. Currently, Phaon is pretty much like 10 gems per 1 Phaon. And that is like 70 gold per Phaon on my server. So those are the little blue things you get for free from the daily logins. And initially you get quite a bit of them, and then eventually you don't get a lot of them. So you got like 50 here and you got 50 here. I've actually spent quite a bit of mine, so be careful with buying items, because depending on the number of transactions they can do, they will cost Phaons, and those cost quite a bit. So this is when you buy. When you sell, it doesn't cost Phaons. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. I'll be making more guides for you to make more gold. And those are the ones I listed. I don't think this one will sell for 30,000 gold again, because it's a different stats, right? But I'll try to sell it for 8,000 gold, because I price checked again. The other one that's a little below me is selling for 8,000 gold. Now, if you guys haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, make sure you do so, because we'll be getting a lot of guides, a lot of tips as I discover them, and I love the game. So I want to share as much as I can with you guys, and let's have a great time in Lost Ark as we explore this game and get the most out of it.